Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk with Brett Trichilo, now officially into the Wilkes Hall of Fame. Well, Brett, nice weekend for you at Wilkes, being honored, and great to see some old familiar faces, I'm sure, for you. Tell us about how fun it was this weekend.
It was, obviously a lot of attention is thrown at me and all the other inductees, but I think I had about 10 teammates or so there. So it's that's what made the weekend for me personally. I appreciated certainly everyone taking time out of their schedules and heading up and spending time there. Especially, I had given them some wrong information, so I didn't realize we'd be standing around for as long as we did in between the halftime ceremony and then once we finished up upstairs. So, but not just the teammates, but the guys who are still there, some of the former coaches. Keith Quill, the old my old strength and conditioning coach, and then professors as well. So it was the whole thing, and even the campus, just to see how much the campus has changed. It was fantastic.
Brett, let's go full speed ahead first. Where you're at now, where you're living, what you're up to, and then we'll kind of backtrack a little bit and go through some of the years in the high school and up through college. But talk about what you're currently up to.
Yeah, I've been in Hoboken, New Jersey. I've been in northern New Jersey for 8 years now. I work over in Wayne, New Jersey for a company called Sandvik. I work in the engineering department, and at the moment I'm on the R&D business development side, and I support the sales guys for new applications. Been doing that in that role for a few years now as well. So with it comes a little bit of traveling. So I say Hoboken's home, but I'm probably here only 30-40% of the time.
Now, you do international travel as well, or just here in the U.S.? No,
international as well. All of North America, South America, and then I get over to Europe a few times a year. It's Sandvik is a European company, so based out of Sweden, so there primarily, but then also Germany and a few other spots.
Well, talk about travel in the world. What are some neat places you've seen? I'm sure there's a lot of work you got to get done, but being able to get across the different places of the world, sure is a fun experience.
It's even going from the New York City area down to Texas, for example. It is interesting in itself. The food, culture, different sports. I just happened to be in Brazil when the World Cup was going on, just by coincidence. Just to see that was incredible. And then with it being the World Cup, the people that were there, I was at the game when Brazil lost to Germany 7-1, I think it was, and everyone thought I was actually German with my hair color and my eyes. So quickly, I was with two Brazilian colleagues, and I think I was about twice the size of them, but I was attached at their hip for fear of walking away and getting cornered. So it's great. International traveling can be a bear sometimes. Anyone who travels, probably has a bad story or two, but it's humbling to. I always say it's humbling. It's an education itself. Sometimes I feel like you kind of just think about yourself and your own situation and think that's it. But when you get to other parts of the world, you realize that other things matter as well. It's what you don't know really. So.
Brett Trichilo joining us here. He Dunmore grad, Wilkes University. Let's go back to those high school days, Brett. Take us through what it was like for you going through high school, playing for a legendary coach that's still there at Dunmore, Jack Henzes. Tell us about the whole community, what it was like.
I was one of six. My oldest brother and sister, they went to prep. Then the middle two went to O'Hara, and then I and my younger brother, the last two, went to Dunmore. So we all took a turn everywhere, and I knew I was football was my love. I knew wherever I was gonna end up, whether it was prep, O'Hara, or Dunmore, I was going to play football somewhere. So obviously, I put a lot of pressure on my parents to send me to Dunmore. You grew up in that environment. And Friday nights, we only lived about a mile from the stadium on the other side of the cemetery. So every Friday night you would hear, with all the home games during the fall, you would hear the announcements. And in Dunmore's program in particular with Coach is rich with tradition. The word's right on the wall when you walk into the field house. So it's it comes with a lot of expectations, and Coach Enzer managed that extremely well. He would never. He would probably, he might call me when he hears this, but the guy's a legend. And he, I saw Coach Barberi, one of my college coaches. He went to George Washington with him, and we were talking about him over this past weekend. The guy, it doesn't matter who goes through that program. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what the magic sauce is. He gets everything out of you. It makes you want to be better. And it's either you sign up and you do it, or as long as he's got 11 guys, it's the right 11. So.
Yeah, we're talking about Jack Hens's and the job he did. You said you go over to Wilkes, and a guy like Bob Barberi, who did a lot for me, and I was at a different high school. Just one of those guys that everybody likes, and a guy that's a gentleman, no doubt about it. And talk about some of the influences that you had at Wilkes University.
Well, Coach Barberi in particular, where Coach Sheptock, the head coach, he was a lot of energy. Coach Barberi was the guy, and he was balancing the equation there. He's fantastic. He just to see him this weekend as well. So soft spoken. His demeanor. In my years with him, and certainly the time seeing him afterwards, I don't recall ever hearing a negative thing come out of his mouth. He always finds the positive in everything. I don't believe he's coaching anywhere at the moment, but I know he misses it. So, and to see him as well this weekend was great. But yeah, it's Coach Sheptock. He's much the same like Hens's, just about 30 or 40 years younger. He was there as well yesterday, so it was fantastic to see everybody. I think there was four former coaches there. So to see all those guys, it's a core four, I would call them. Something like the Yankees say. Sheptock, Barberi, Mike McCree, who is now we're at the Hanover area. And then Coach Magero is my running back coach. To see all those guys, it was special.
The records, when you look back now, you're saying, "Wow, I did that," or "That looks pretty good right now." When you look at the 2,000-yard season, some of the honors you had there at Division III, really turned your head and says, "You're a pretty special guy."
I guess. I guess you'd have to look at the number of carries though too. I had quite a number of opportunities to make something out of it. So I was very fortunate. Obviously Coach Hens's, he's when I was there, it was a run oriented offense. So I had lots of opportunities there. And then when I got to Wilkes, and that's always I have a lot of buddies whose cousins and their nephews and some guys their kids are now going through high school, and they're looking at universities and colleges, and they kind of pick your brain sometimes and say, what should you look for? If you talk to 50 different coaches, college coaches, you're going to get 50 different opinions on the same person. It's really how that individual will work into the system they're running. So I didn't know much about Wilkes, the style of offense they ran when I was getting recruited. But my time there, we were run-oriented offense as well. So I was very fortunate, and the time move as well. Some of the guys I had for the first 3 years, my freshman through junior year. The line was fantastic. So between the offense, the offensive line, the whole thing, I just feel like I got very, very, very lucky.
Well, lucky and talented and hard-nosed. I mean, I just remember you in high school as a hard-nosed guy that went at it every play. You get right back up and you take another carry, and you get beat up a little bit, but whether you had 101 yards or 213, you just kept grinding, and it was all about the team. It was never about you, covering you during those high school days.
No, a lot of that came from my parents. Becoming from a large family, it's everybody, wherever you go, it's always the guy with the ball who's going to get all the accolades. In either of those two systems, both in Coach Hens's and Coach Sheptock, if they tried making me a quarterback, I think I would have quit. That's the unfortunate part of it, I guess. Kyle Gallagher, our fullback at Wilkes, was my roommate. The selfishness, as a matter of fact, the tight end, Brian Fritz, this when we were talking, and he actually said he hated when they called pass plays. The tight end was telling me that. I said, why? He said, I didn't like going over the middle and getting drilled. He goes, so, it's not often you would hear a tight end or a fullback, not say, hey, give me the ball. So, and then at Dunmore as well, our fullback, Tony Carlucci, and Mike Igo. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he, it was, I just happened to be, I guess I've thrown the word lucky out there a few times. It was just, I don't know, just fortunate. I had a lot of guys through my 4 years at Dunmore, 4 years at Wilkes who they didn't mind for some reason. I don't think I would have been so happy if I was the guy blocking on 100 offensive plays or something. So it's again, I was lucky in that fact as well.
Brett Trichilo joining us, a Dunmore grad, Wilkes University grad, living in New Jersey, has a successful career. And Brett, talk about coming home to northeastern Pennsylvania and seeing some family and friends, and how often you're able to get in town and reflect on some of those things.
Not as much as I would like to, but north, wherever I go, northeastern PA, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, that's home. There's as soon as I get off the highway, whether it's Interstate 80 or the Turnpike, as soon as I see those mountains, there's just an ease or something. There's something about it. I don't know. It's the people, relating to the people, the mentality, the personalities, all of it. It's just, I do enjoy coming home. Everyone occasionally will ask me, as a matter of fact, over this weekend, would you ever move back? And I would. I love it. Friday night I stayed at a friend at Lake Silkworth. It's maybe just because it's a change of pace compared to the New York City area, but it's it's just it's still a very special place to me. Don't get back as much as I like to, but I guess that comes with age as well.
Well, congratulations in getting into the Wilkes Hall of Fame. Great to catch up with you, see what you're up to, no doubt, and we wish you the very best in your near future. Okay?
I appreciate it, John. Thank you very much.
Brett Trichilo, one of the all-time greatest guys I got to cover over the years over on TV end, and, of course, here this weekend celebrating with Wilkes University and the Colonels. On the John Mendola Show, we are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.